Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie, I am from Austria, and today I'm gonna show you my Make 9 for 2025. Hello, I'm so glad you could join me once again. I hope you've had a lovely day so far. I have never made this type of video, but I saw a lot of people actually tell everyone what they would like to make, and I thought it was a really great idea. So today I'm going to show you my Make 9 for this year. The idea behind it is that you select 9 projects that you will try to finish them throughout the year. Some projects you've had on your list for a really long time, or something that you've really wanted and itched to cast on for some time. So I think we can get straight into it. I do have my laptop open on the side, and I've made a list so I don't forget what I want to talk about. Also, just before we really get into it, quite a lot of these are just general ideas, not specific projects. That is because I am a little bit spontaneous, and whenever a new pattern comes out and I really like it, I can either cast it on immediately or put it or like designate yarn that I have in my stash to the new thing that I want to make. So nothing is set in stone. These are just general ideas and things I've had in my Ravelry library, or some new patterns that have come out recently and I just haven't had the time to cast on, so I don't know if I will actually make all of them. That is as a little disclaimer at the beginning. So the first thing, and you've seen this a million times now I feel like before, is a Dagmar jacket by Petite Knit. I don't know where I was when this pattern came out. It must have been under a rock because it completely blew over my head. I love the look of this jacket. This is an Aran Wade jacket. 18 stitches is the stitch gauge, and you have beautiful cables all over the piece. It is a raglan as far as I can tell, or like a raglan drop shoulder situation, which I really like, because it gives you a lot of positive ease. Now I don't have yarn for this, I think. I want to make it in a beigey grey, just like Petite Knit has made hers as well. The ease is just a little bit big for me. It's 27 or 26 centimeters of positive ease, so I'm trying to reduce that to the minimal amount I can do. So I'm gonna cast on the smallest size. It ranges from a size XXS to 5XL, really great size range. And she's got this pattern in lots of different forms now, as well as a zipper sweater, as a normal pullover, loads of different things. So I love that, of course, but I just came back to this jacket time and time again because it reminds me a lot of our traditional Austrian clothing. We have something called Tracht and a dirndl for the women. So you have most of the times some like gingham fabric as your dress. Mine is a red gingham as well, and I think something neutral would work really well, also because cables always remind me of like the Alps and coziness and just that kind of vibe. So for the yarn, I do have this Drops Big Merino in my stash. It is superwash. This is color 19, and you'll also get a 17 stitch gauge with it. Now, because this is merino wool, I am not too sure if that is the best wool to work with, because I kind of want it to be a woolly wool project, and superwash and especially merino wool is not as insulating, at least for me, as normal wool. So I'm a bit on the fence with this. I do like the colour, and I have enough of this in my stash as well. It's like a beige but a tiny bit pink. It's a really interesting combination. What worries me though, or what makes me question if that is the best yarn to use, is I've never worked with Drops Big Merino, so I don't know how it wears. But that would be an option that I already have in my stash in the correct quantity as well. So we'll see. The next project that I would like to cast on is something that I've talked about many times before, and it's an ongoing battle, and it's a cardigan. I left this very wide open. I either want to make the April cardigan again by Petite Knit, very classic cardigan with a double knit button band, really beautiful, not too much of a positive ease, so the fit also would be a bit better. And again, really big size range. I'm not sure what yarn I would use for this. Cardigans for me, they need to be versatile, and they need to be in a neutral color, just so I can wear them time and time again with lots of different colors and dresses. I'm really lacking like cropped cardigans that I can put on when I'm wearing a dress or a skirt or something like that, just so it hits me at the waist. So for cardigans, like I said, the April cardigan would be an option. The other thing that I might cast on is the Epiphany cardigan by Hannah Herman Sørensen. This is knit up in a sport weight, and it is a cardigan, but it's a different style, and I really like it. It's very feminine, it's very like girly in my opinion. It has these beautiful drawstrings at the top. This is the only closure you have for the whole piece, and then the sleeves have this really nice ruffle detail around the cuff. I think that would be a great piece again for especially my dresses, and in summer just something a little bit warmer. So that is also an option cardigans wise, and I'm kind of drawn more towards this one just because it's something different. I do have some sport weight yarn. I have Drop Spooner in this really nice light grey. This is colour number 7. Nothing too special or too fancy. This is 100% alpaca. It's very soft, and I think the drape on this would be really, really nice. I've never worked with this yarn either. I've had this in my stash for a really long time. I've always wanted to hold this with something else, just because I heard a lot about alpaca being very flowy but also stretching out really easily because of the drape, because it doesn't have a lot of structural integrity on its own. But this would be an option, and maybe I'll cast this on very soon, because I feel like cardigans take me a really long time because of the purling, so I might start sooner rather than later and just have this as an ongoing project throughout the year. The next thing is also a Petite Knit pattern, but this is again more of a general idea that I would like to make. It is a zipper sweater. I'm thinking about making the zipper sweater by Petite Knit or the Lanark sweater by Rebecca Clow. Those are both very beautiful patterns. The zipper sweater is a bit more, I would say, traditional and simpler because it's just plain stockinette, and the Lanark sweater uses half fisherman's rib. I've never worked with half fisherman's rib. I am a little bit worried because I've heard that when you make a mistake in this stitch type, it's a little bit difficult to fix it. But I'm sure we can get through somehow. Also with it, you knit a lot longer on the project, because you either, I think you can either slip every second stitch or you knit into the row below, so you actually need a lot more knitting than if you would just do plain stockinette. So I'm a little bit on the fence about this, but I do want to make a some type of zipper sweater, just because I like the look of it. It is something different. I really like the collar, like having a really big collar, and I think for my work clothes it's something that can be very versatile and just it would be a really great fit in my wardrobe. I have to say I'm leaning more towards the zipper sweater by Petite Knit because her patterns are always really well written and you have a lot of video support, and because I've never inserted a zipper into anything, this might just be an easier beginner's project. I was thinking about using this yarn, Drops Charisma, in this grey colour. For the zipper sweater I would make the light version, so this is the perfect yarn for it. This is a DK weight, 100% wool yarn. Did I say the colour? Colour 21. A really nice grey, I think would be very versatile. So if I decide to make the zipper sweater light, I would probably go for this yarn. Since we're already talking about Rebecca Clow, I would like to make her Toaster Tank this year. I am not a huge summer pattern knitter. I feel like t-shirts and tanks, knitted ones, just don't get any use in my wardrobe. I much prefer a store-bought, just plain cotton shirt to a knitted one. Also because summers are really warm here in Austria, so I don't really gravitate towards a knitted shirt. Also because they take quite a lot of time because of the small needles. Now, this toaster tank, that isn't the case for this one. You knit it with 5mm needles, so you get a DK weight, and you knit it as like an Aran to worsted weight. So it's a little bit drapey, a bit more open and gappy, which I like because on 5mm you can really make great progress. Now she does have a lot of different versions in her patterns, and I would probably go for the one that is a round kind of higher neck, and you have ribbing on the sides besides the armhole and the neck as well. Ease wise, it depends on obviously the size you choose, so it's between 0 and 8 centimeters of positive ease. I would probably go for a bigger size just so it's looser. I do have the yarn for it, but I'm not sure which one I would like to use. Down here is all of my summer yarn, so I've not picked out anything. I am more of a neutral colored person, especially when it comes to summer, and I want this tank to be a very versatile piece because I'm in the office in summer almost every day, and my trousers obviously have a certain color scheme, so it has to work with those colors as well. That's why I think I'm gonna go for something like a grey, a bluish grey, a beige, something like that. Whatever I can find in my stash that also would be suitable. Again, this is not something I'm in any rush whatsoever to make it. I would probably cast it on near summertime just because it's also a summer project. I have started the toaster tank before in a summer yarn last year. I talked about this in my unfinished projects from 2024 video, so you can go and check that out. So the construction is bottom up. It's not my preferred construction, to be honest, because I always make things too small, and I'm always really worried about not having enough yarn because of the backwards kind of method you start the shirt. But this is something that has been floating around in my mind, and I would like to try at least make some summer garments and just see if it's actually worth it to put the time and effort in it, if I will grab it or not. Speaking of summer, the Ingrid summer sweater by Gregoria Fibers has been on my list for a really long time. I think the design is just really appealing. It is a summer sweater knit up with some cotton yarn. The size range is fantastic, and it has these beautiful eyelets all over the piece. It is a drop shoulder construction. I believe it's top down, which I really like, because you can adjust the size. And for this one I actually have the yarn, and I bought it 2 summers ago for this project. I will use Drops Bell in this beige colour. This is colour number 3. It is a cotton, viscose and linen blend, and I really wanted to have something in a beige or neutral or whitey colour, because I just really liked the project pictures of this sweater so much that I didn't want to do anything different colour wise. It seems very big and wide ease wise, so I'd probably go for something that doesn't have that much ease. The only thing that is holding me back a little bit from this sweater is that I'm not sure how much use I will get out of a cotton sweater, because summers, as I've already mentioned before, are very hot, and therefore the nights can be very cold as well, and I'm not sure if I would go for a cotton sweater in the evenings to or instead of a woolly sweater, just because of the insulation and how much warmth I would actually get out of it. But I guess it would be just something really fun to cast on, something to have in my wardrobe. And if I do like the pattern, I can always make it in a different yarn that is maybe more woolly, and have like both versions, if you will. Alright, we are flying through those patterns. The next one is a very general one again, but I also want to make these. This is the Ovis Socks by Saskia & Co pattern. She just changed her name to Saskia & Co. She used to be the Petite Knitter. I'm sure it's going to take me a while to remember the name, just because I've used the Petite Knitter for such a long time. This pattern is, like I said, a very broad one. I just want to make some colour work socks. I really like the look of these. I love the shape, but it is all over colour work, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for that, to knit socks when I've never knitted colour work socks before. Or I have one and I didn't enjoy it, so I didn't even cast on the second one. But for these look so cute, and I do want to make them eventually, but I'm thinking if I should go for something simpler, maybe some colour work pattern that is just at the cuff or at the top leg of the sock instead of the whole sock. I don't have yarn for this. I do have some sock yarn, but when I knitted colour work with this type of yarn, I didn't like how the other colours were showing through, because it seemed very fine. That also maybe because I think back then I chose the wrong needle size. Now I know more about sock knitting. I've knitted a few socks since then, but I would like to try some different sock yarn, and I just haven't gotten around to buying that. Also because I don't know which ones I would like to make. I know Stone Knits has some incredible colour work socks that also only do like cuff bits, or you can swap out the design with different ones. So if I want to do something colour work wise, I think I would go to those two designers for it. Next up, I want to make a half and half triangle wrap by Pearl Soho. This is a free pattern and it has been very popular amongst us knitters. What you do is you knit a triangle, and in like one half is one colour and the other half is a different colour, so you get a square out of it at the end, and this is the whole wrap design behind it. It is worked up in garter stitch, and they do work on 3.25mm needles, which are just tiny for me, so I'm not sure if I would knit it this small. I would probably go for a DK weight gauge. I also think this would be a great piece to get out some yarn for from my stash, leftovers, like odd quantities I don't really know what to do with. I think this would be a really good one for this. I'm not sure if I would go for 2 different colors or if I would just make it all in one color, so unicolored, just because I am not a colorful person, and I am also worried about the itchiness of the yarn on my neck. I'm very sensitive around here, so I'm not sure if a wrap in this sense is the correct pattern for me. But with a lot of dresses that I have, I would like to have something I can just wrap around my shoulders instead of around my neck to provide a little bit of warmth. So that is the whole idea behind why I want to make this pattern in particular, because it seems to be wide enough to not only have it around your neck, but also have it wide enough to go around your shoulders and then just tie a knot down here. So that is something on the list. I have no stress with this whatsoever. I think this would also be a year-long pattern because it's just a really massive project and undertaking, and I'm not the fastest knitter in the world, so we'll see about this, but it is definitely on my to-do list. Another really big undertaking, and this is a general pattern once again, is I want to make a dress this year. I know dresses take a really long time, a lot of yarn and a lot of patience, I know, but I don't know, I just can't find a knitted dress that I like for my style and what I want in the shops, so why not make it myself? As for inspiration, I'm thinking about the Mamba dress by Maria Isaeva. She's known as Ulen Knitwear on Instagram, I believe. This is a beautiful turtleneck dress. It's drop shoulder. You knit it up in a DK weight, and you have these gorgeous cables all over the sweater with some stockinette and purling in between. So looks wise, this looks really, really nice. I probably wouldn't make it as long as she does in her pictures. Or she did, should I say, since it's already finished. I would probably stop around knee length, so that also reduces the amount of yarn I would need. So ease wise, it would be between 0 and 3 centimeters of positive ease. Again, it depends on the size you choose. You would knit it up with 4mm needles, which I think for a dress is okay. That is DK weight. I feel like it is very standard. Other dresses I have been considering that are a little bit more form-fitting, because I am an hourglass figure and just straight down boxy things don't really suit my body type. So something a bit more form-fitting is better. I thought about the Lunch Chat Tiffany's dress by Anne-Kathrin Stoll. But this one calls for a light fingering weight, and it has all over rib. It's a gorgeous pattern. It really cinches in under the bust. It's a v-neck style, long sleeves once again, so this would be a great option, but the needle size is kind of what's holding me back with this one, because I first of all don't love knitting rib, and I don't love working on such tiny needles. But it is out there, it is an option. And the other one I was thinking is the Junie dress / top by Olga Knitwear Design. She uses a DK weight, and it's also a rib pattern. It's not long sleeved, it's a halter neck dress. I would probably alter this one to be not a halter neck, but the straps to go back down, and just sew them on at the back, just because halter necks are not for me. I don't like wearing this style. But it's also a really beautiful one with some shaping by the bust, which is where the eyes are drawn to. And for something a little bit chunkier and more wintry, I also have the Malika dress by Olga Grishina on my list. This one uses a bulky weight yarn. It has cables, it is long sleeved, and it's about knee length. So these are like the 3 or 4 dresses I've been considering. I don't have a favorite, to be honest, but time wise it's probably better to go for like the Mamba dress or the Malika dress, because it's a chunkier yarn that you use, so you knit it up quicker. Although if I would make this dress, I could only make or wear this in winter, because I will use a woolen yarn. I would have to go through my stash to see what colour I would like to have it in, because colour for me is very important, not just the type of yarn, but we'll see. The dress again is a very big thing to undertake, and I don't know when I will cast this on, but it's probably better to do it sometime soon, so I can work on it throughout the year and have it ready for potentially autumn or next winter. And now for the last pattern, this is just a scrap buster. This is the Bisous Scrunchie by Camille K. I really like her designs. I have a lot of them in my library and in my queue. She is a French designer, and this is just a very, I would say, standard scrunchie. It is a free pattern, which is fantastic. It does come in different sizes as well. I mean, it's a scrunchie, it's very adjustable, and I really like the look of it. It seems to be a great stash busting and scrap busting project, and I don't know which yarn I would use for it, but I'm trying to use up a lot of the kid silk that I have from Drops, and because I can't wear this type of yarn on my skin because it's too itchy, I can at least incorporate it in accessories. I also think that this is a great gift knitting pattern to just gift someone some scrunchies, or as like I said, a scrap buster. So that is something really fast, as also like a palette cleanser I can do in between those really big long projects I have planned. Let me know what your plans are for this year, if you also have a make 9 list, or if you have a more of a general idea of what you want to make. Let me know down below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye!